appreciate it. My name is Libby Caviness. I am the daughter of Daryl and Paula Caviness. I am also the mother of a 7-year-old little boy named Quinn, who is a first grader at Dalhart Elementary School. Some of y'all may have met him. He was chosen as Little Mr. XIT, and he came to a meeting here a couple of years back. When Jeff first called me and asked me to come speak before y'all, I really took it to heart, and I thought about what it was I wanted to say to all of you and how I could relate my life to what you do as service members. I grew up a 4-H'er. I pledged my head, heart, hands, and health to club, community, country, and world. And much like the Rotary Club's motto of service above self, I learned that giving to your community and serving others always benefit us all in making the best better. I grew up seeing many members of my own family establish the importance of service, including my grandfather, the late Herschel Caviness, a respected cattle buyer, businessman, farmer, and rancher in eastern New Mexico. He also served as a Roosevelt County Commissioner for many years. His passion for 4-H, FFA, and youth livestock exhibitors led to him becoming a huge supporter of the reconstruction and improvements at the Roosevelt County Fairgrounds, which are enjoyed by all people of all ages today. He was an example of service above self. And then I looked at my own parents, who made the tough decision to leave their home of eastern New Mexico and seek new opportunities for their family. They were introduced to Cal Farley's Boys Ranch and immediately fell in love with the vision Cal Farley had. The ranch actually wanted my parents to become staff that was over agriculture programs at the ranch because of their farming and ranching experience. But my parents chose to be house parents. The boys were more than a job, they were our family. To see my parents open their hearts and dedicate themselves to the lives of so many, I knew I was witnessing service above self. We moved to Cal Farley's Boys Ranch in 1986, and at that time it was only 4 boys. So all of us staff girls had to go by bus to Channing to go to school. And I actually liked it. I liked having that separation because the ranch was all centered around the boys. Going to school at Channing, we were able to participate in our UIL events, sports, and I got involved in 4-H. In 1992, Boys Ranch was evolving. It was combining with Girls Town USA. So girls were now becoming part of the ranch. But my parents felt like it was a good transition for them to leave Boys Ranch. As much as a hard decision it was, they chose to move us to Channing, where we could continue to go to school at Channing, and we could serve our community that we so loved in Channing. My parents went to work for National Farms, which is now known as Cargill Pork. They could have moved us to Textline or Dalhart to be closer to their work, but they chose Channing. In 1997, I graduated at the top of my class from Channing High School. I received many scholarships. One scholarship that I did receive was a livestock judging scholarship to Clarendon College, and so that's where I went to school. I was a member of a very successful livestock judging team that competed on a national level, and I was also a participant in Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. I was a member and officer of our Block and Bridle Club, and I was selected as a student ambassador for the college. I graduated from Clarendon College in 1999 with an Associates of Science degree. I continued my education by going to Angelo State University. I then transferred to West Texas A&M, where I studied animal science. As you can imagine, my family impressed upon me the importance of hard work. I may have been born a girl, but there was never a princess crown placed upon my head. As a child running around Clovis Livestock Market, you could often find me riding my horse up and down the alleys, helping bring cattle to the sell ring. When I was old enough to be in 4-H, I had show lambs, and those animals were my responsibility, and I took it very seriously. Most likely than not, I smelled like I was hanging out at the sheep barn. In 1995, while in high school, I had my first real job. I went to work at Premium Standard Farms. I did everything from artificial inseminating sows in the breeding barn to pulling baby pigs in the farrowing house. I did every grunt job, and I loved it. I loved the satisfaction of putting in a hard day's work. While attending college in Canyon, I worked at the Texas A&M Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Lab, where I assisted many veterinarians with various lab jobs. That job led to me becoming a veterinary assistant for Hope Vet Clinic for Dr. David Faulkner and his wife Sarah. But it was my passion for agriculture that brought me back to Hartley County when I moved to Dalhart in 2001. I went to work at Premium Center Farms as an assistant manager. I quickly moved up, and by the age of 25, I was a manager. I was responsible for my own barns, managed a bilingual crew of employees, and was responsible for the production numbers and budgets. With the birth of my son in 2006, I had to make a decision. It was, do I continue working in the industry that I've always loved, or do I find a career that's closer to this community where I could have more flexibility for my family? Well, that decision was an easy one. I chose my family. So during my maternity leave, I went and sent out resumes everywhere. You might have gotten one. But I walked into the Texas Workforce Solutions office where Gwen Bowers was actually the administrator at that time. And after I spoke to her, she goes, you know, Libby, I think you would be great for Judge Field. He's looking for an administrative assistant. So I went over to the courthouse, I took my resume up there, and he wasn't there. So I thought, okay. But he called me back, and he said, I'd like to interview. So I did. And he explained to me that the job opening had to be open for 2 weeks, and he would let me know. In 3 days, he gave me a call back and said, I think you're the one I want to be my administrative assistant. Working for Judge Field is more than being a secretary. I'm sorry. I wear many hats for Dalhart County. I keep Judge Field's calendar and his appointments. I am his court coordinator. I manage the court dockets and probate dockets. I am the human resources administrator for the whole county. I am the safety loss manager, and I am responsible for workers' comp and unemployment records, and present the quarterly reports to the Commissioner's Court. I am the liaison for the county as I work between all offices in the county and law enforcement, attorneys, and other judges. Most importantly, I am privy to the most sensitive information and documents, and I maintain the highest level of confidentiality. So why should Hartley County voters elect me as their next Justice of the Peace? I have 7 years' experience working for the longest-standing county judge in the state of Texas. The knowledge and skills that I have gained through this office are valuable and will be of great use to me if elected as JP. I know the importance of compromise between offices and how we all work together to do what is best for the county and by county. And I have witnessed firsthand how a judge should be and act in both their professional lives and their private lives. I know the standards that a judge must maintain to be the unbiased voice of justice, to make fair and balanced judgments, to not make a decision because it is what the most popular thing is to do, but to make decisions based off of the laws. I want my office to reflect who I am and how I was raised. I will treat the public with respect, be courteous, a team player when it comes to working with other county offices and law enforcement. I've never been afraid of getting my hands dirty and working hard, and that strong and proven work ethic will be continued if elected. The JP's office is most often a person's first experience with the county court system. I want whoever comes to my office to feel like they have been treated fairly, no matter the outcome of a decision that is made. Our county government offices are service-based. I enjoy the work that I do and have dedicated myself to continue working and serving the public. Just as my grandfather and my parents set the example for me to be more, to give of yourself to others, I too have a responsibility to set a good example to my own son, so that he may become the next generation to carry on the same compassion for others. And that is why I humbly ask for your vote and thank you for your consideration. Thank you.